away then to Manpasand Beverages. Shares of Manpasand Beverages are now locked in a lower circuit for the third straight session, extending its decline for the sixth trading day after the auditor, Deloitte, has resigned ahead of a board meeting which was scheduled to declare their numbers. Vishal Sood, the MD of SAIF Partners and an early investor in Manpasand Beverages on the board of the company since 2011, now joins us on the phone line. Good afternoon, Mr. Sood, and thanks so much for taking the time out and speaking to CNBC TV 18. First, your thoughts on the reason, the timing and the implication of the auditor resigning, and would you continue to hold on to your 17.5% stake?
Okay, good afternoon. Let me start with the first question about the sequence of events. Now, as I understand and what I have been able to confirm from both the sides, that the auditors had been asking for certain information, which is not unusual. It is a normal information that they would ask companies. And the company had been providing the information from time to time. However, because they don't have a ERP, so they took longer than maybe another company may take to come back with information, and then there was follow-up information required, which also they took time to come back. And this happened back and forth a few times. And subsequently what happened was that by the time the May 30th deadline was approaching, the company called for a board meeting and the auditors said that we don't have all the information that we need to sign off. But the company said that, last year also the results had got delayed. We have provided all the information. We acknowledge that there is some information pending, but we believe that we have given you enough information to be able to approve the accounts because, again, this year we don't want to delay it. And my understanding is from both sides that the management took a stance that, we don't want to delay it so much, and the auditor took a stance which must be as per their internal processes that we need this information before we sign off, and that caused them to resign. That is my understanding, what I could confirm from both sides.
And Mr. Sood, good morning. You've spoken to the management, the promoters, and you've spoken with Deloitte as well.
Yes. So beyond this, Deloitte's policy, they have a compliance policy that prevents them from talking anything beyond this. But this much I was able to confirm.
And as you understand it, but this is whose version? I mean, this is primarily Deloitte's version, or this is the promoter's version?
This much what I told you, both are agreed.
That it is essentially a disagreement between when the results should have been announced. So essentially, according to Deloitte, essentially, what set off Deloitte on the path of resigning is the fact that the company announced results without waiting for the auditor to sign on the accounts. Is that what you're saying?
No, the company had called for a board meeting, and it was on May 30th. It was supposed to be today. And when the auditors saw that, they said that we are not ready. I don't think we will be ready to sign off because this information won't be there. And the company, the management felt that they acknowledged that there was some information pending. But they said because we don't have ERP, it will take some time. We will provide the information. But in the meantime, we feel that there is enough information already provided to form a informed opinion. But my understanding is that Deloitte said no, this information is required, and probably the management pushed them, and they said no. If you force us, then we will.
Mr. Sood, I mean, you've worked with many companies over many years. Is this a reason enough for an auditor, which has been auditing the books of a company for a number of years, to resign?
So this is what I'm able to confirm. See, I'm not a chartered accountant, so is this reason enough, or there is more reason? Because this is all the information that both sides can confirm to me. The problem for me, is that I'm speaking here, in my personal capacity, not for the company or my firm, but as a director, since 2011, when we first invested, the same auditor has been auditing the books. But I have never had any evidence, or I never noticed any sign of discord between the two sides. They were always doing it in a very cordial manner, and I never noticed, and never did the auditor also bring to the board that there is any problem that management is not cooperating or management is not providing us any information.
Okay.
Until this Sunday morning when I got the call that auditor has resigned, I was not aware that there is any problem at all. Okay. So it came, and never before in these 6-7 years, has there been any qualification on the balance sheet or the annual report, nor auditor has ever told us that there is any problem that management doesn't cooperate with us. So at the board level, nothing has happened. So I'm quite shocked by the sequence of events.
Well, Mr. Sood, everyone is shocked as well. Even the shareholders will be shocked, and you being one of the largest shareholders, you'll definitely be shocked. They wanted more time, and in fact, they wanted more data. Half the market capitalization has been eroded. Your investment as well as halved in the last few days. What's your take on that? I mean, couldn't this be avoided?
Well, obviously, it is very painful to watch the stock price on your channel and money control. It is definitely very painful. But if this is the situation, that if this is true, that it was because management pushed the auditor to sign when they were not ready to sign, then I think it was not the. I think they pushed too hard, because I believe that a firm like Deloitte, they will have their own processes, and I don't think they would sign off when they are not ready to sign off. So if this is the situation, then I think it was. From what I understand, if this is the situation, then it was avoidable.
Okay. Mr. Sood, do you think it was necessary for the company to take such a hard stance of wanting to report the numbers on time and foregoing the relationship with the auditor? Because as things stand today, the results are not going to be announced on time. We've been talking about the decline in the market capitalization. So all this seems for nothing. As a director of the company, as a non-independent director of the company, a non-executive director, could you not have weighed, could the board not have weighed on its decision, on the company's decision to continue to say that we want to report the numbers on time, even if the auditor wants to resign?
So, I would have dearly, I would have preferred that if there was this problem, then I understand that the normal process is for the auditor to call for a board meeting and say that, this is problem we are having. Now, like I said, I'm not a CA, but my understanding is that the auditor has right to call for the board meeting and tell the board that we are having this problem. But that didn't happen. So if I had this inkling that this kind of problem is happening, then I'm sure that there are independent directors also, very experienced ones. I'm sure that something, we would have all discussed. But the first thing the board came to know is that the auditor has resigned on Saturday evening. And Sunday morning we came to know that the auditor has resigned. Until then, there was no inclination. Otherwise, surely the board would have, the directors would have tried to get into it and see what is the problem. But we don't know. We didn't know.
There was, before the Deloitte stepped down, was there any, there was no conversation at all? I mean, there was the official communication saying we're stepping down and that's it.
That is correct. That is the first I heard of the problem.
Okay. So, what was the nature of the information withheld? The company says it was fairly routine. You've spoken to Deloitte as well. From their end, what are they saying? What was the nature of the information which the company couldn't provide on time?
So, I did not have a chance to get specifically, the list of information, but both sides have confirmed to me that there was nothing out of the ordinary that an auditor would not ask a company of this size and scope to provide. It was nothing out of the ordinary, but there was a problem with the time that the company was taking to come back, and then this May 30 deadline had approached. So both sides are saying that there is nothing out of the ordinary that was being asked.
Mr. Sood, this is not the first time that the books have been questioned. In the past as well, there were various reports. Have you ever approached the management? You all have discussed this. There were various articles that were written as well in the past.
You are referring to that one blog post?
Yes, there was a blog post. There was a lot of discussion on that point. You all got through that phase. At that point, did you all have any kind of dialogue? Did you question the management?
That blog was quite speculative in nature, but we did, of course, discuss the blog because it was
and you were satisfied, sir, with the response you had got at that time?
Yeah, you see that blog came in 2016, right? It was something into the
Couple of years back.
I'm sure Deloitte also read the blog, and after that 2017 audit has happened, and again it was an unqualified audit. So whatever concern anybody might have, presumably when an auditor of Deloitte stature gives an unqualified balance sheet by 2017, everybody would be satisfied.
Okay,
that
all
is
right.
what
So
as a non-executive, that is the insight I have.
So, sir, you are satisfied with that response. Final question from my end. You have been invested in this company. Just a short while back, the market capitalization was double of what it was. At these prices, will you look at, buying some shares? Have you sold any shares in the last few days? I don't think so, right?
No, we are not
sold. So, if you're getting it at half the price, sir, will you look to deploy some more money if nothing is wrong at all?
This is from, I don't know how much you know about the way private equity funds are structured, but this is from a very old fund. It was a 2011 fund, so we cannot invest anymore from the fund. So no, we cannot buy. We are, so the best I can do, again, I can't speak for the firm, best I can do is that, the new auditor has been appointed, and when the new auditor completes the audit and then there is a board meeting, then we will get more information. But as of now, no, Deloitte cannot talk to me because of their policy, so I have no choice but to wait for the audit to be completed.
Just on the point about the books, I was told that before you invested in the company, there was a forensic audit which was done by KPMG. Can you confirm that for us, Mr. Sood, and whether that came out clean?
Forensic audit.
There was a, yeah. I mean, you can confirm or deny whether. I mean, this is before you invested, before you put money into the company.
I am not aware of that, because we invested in 2011 and also in 2014, and of course both times we conducted a diligence, and there was no red flags alarming that we found. Obviously, otherwise we would not have invested. But before even we invested, if there has been a forensic, that I am not aware of.
Okay. Mr. Sood, I mean, if one were to take the point of view, and as you said, it seems that it was Manpasand going ahead with the results date, not waiting for the auditor signing off on the books, and that is about it.
No, they were not saying that we will not wait for the auditor to sign off.
Yeah.
They were saying that between now and May 30th, we think you should sign off. That is what my understanding is.
Okay, so they were
not going to declare the results without signing off, of course.
Yeah.
But they thought it will be signed off before 30th May.
So they presumed. That's what I'm
cannot.
saying. Yeah. So they didn't. They needed. Okay, fair enough. So in a way, you're saying there was pressure being put on the auditors, less time given, that sort of thing. Is that what you're saying?
So that I don't know about less time or more time, but management was very keen that by 30th May we should declare the results, because last year also we got delayed. Maybe it was because of blog or they wanted more procedures, but this time they were very, very keen not to do it. And perhaps they might have put pressure on the auditor, which the auditor was not. But this is what I can confirm, because both sides have told me this, that we wanted it done, and auditor Deloitte team did not want to sign off, and that is why this happened.
Okay, Mr. Sood,
but beyond that, I don't know if there is anything.
All right. Our colleague in Delhi also reported that Deloitte has approached the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and they've communicated their decision, reasons for doing that, and what sources in the ministry have told our colleague is that Deloitte has told them there was some misreporting as well. I'm using the exact phrase which was told to my colleague. I mean, how would you respond to that?
I'm not familiar with this. I don't know, frankly.
But so there is.
They have not told the board that there is misreporting. That is all I can say.
Would you or the other institutional shareholders look to write to the MCA to probe the matter?
I don't know. See, this I'm talking to you in my personal capacity.
Okay.
If the shareholder, which is my, the firm I represent, if they decide, I don't know. I'm in my personal capacity. I'm on the board, so I will wait for the auditor.
Okay. You said.
But I don't know. What to write to MCA. It is better to wait for the audit, I suppose.
Okay, you'll wait for the new auditors to come out with their report. You said you cannot buy more, but would you look to pare down your holdings given everything that's happening?
No, not right now. I think the most sensible thing for, this is my opinion again, that we should wait for the auditor, the new auditor, to give their report.
Okay. Have they indicated how long it will take for them to come out with their report and the company to declare their numbers?
I haven't had a chance to talk to them. My guess is that, since they are coming in, it's only on Sunday that they came in, so they will go through and they will tell their information requirements, and then the company will tell how long it will take to provide whatever information they want. I don't think anybody will have an exact date today. Sure. I'm sure both sides need to discuss and see.
All right, Mr. Sood, thank you very much for joining us and speaking with CNBC TV 18 and clarifying on the matters you said. Speaking in a way in an individual capacity as someone on the board and not representing SAIF's interests. Of course, SAIF's interests have been hurt, as if the interests of, the majority of investment, actually all the investors in Manpasand over the last 3 days, 50% of the market cap shaved off. So guys, do we know anything more than what we knew before the conversation? Kind of tough to say, but good to hear a voice on the matter. Okay, I think we have Mr. Sood, sorry.
You want to give us your last word?
Yeah, no, the reason I have been painstakingly pointing out that I'm talking in my individual capacity, because I'm not a lawyer or a CA. I don't know legally what I'm permitted to speak. That is why I'm at pains to point out that this is my individual capacity I'm talking. All
right. Got it. Thank you very much. Okay, 1 minute. Mr. Sood, can you just hold on? I think... we have some new information. Rima, go on.
Information to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Deloitte Haskin submitted Form ADT3 on the portal of MCA on the 28th of May 2018. Form ADT3, Notice of Resignation by the Auditor, is filed pursuant to Section 142 of the Companies Act 2013 and Rule 8 of the Companies Audit and Auditors Rule 2014. So Section 142. 140 and in brackets 2. So they have filed with the MCA saying that they've resigned in accordance with Section 142 of the Companies Act. So if you can just get some more color on what exactly the section is.
What we had reported earlier was that the relevant section, right, which was being considered for this, is Section 143.12, right?
Which indicated fraud.
It basically says in case the auditor fails to get any reply or observation from the board or the audit committee within the stipulated period of 45 days, he shall forward his report to the central government along with a note containing the details of his report that was earlier forwarded to the board. The auditor then refers the matter to the MCA. This is 143.12, but what you're saying is 142.2. Mr. Sood, if you're still there,
I am there, but I don't know this section.
Okay. I think we'll have to speak with a tax accountant.
A chartered accountant can only answer. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Mr. Sood, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That's the word coming in on SAIF Partners. They too are shocked by the developments and cringing perhaps at the loss in value for them as one of the early investors and with a 17.5% stake in the company right now.
You look at this volumes though.